Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? So I'm just continuing on with the the year by year thing I was doing with my collection, and right now I'm doing from the 1990s until current times. I'm trying to do the smaller collections first, and then the larger, work my way up to the larger ones. I've already done 1950s, 1940s, and 1950s, and I did miss a couple things, and I know I've left out a few things in this collection too. Not so much because I forgot, but just because they're in awkward spots and kind of hard to get to sometimes. So I just kind of went with the majority. And there's a couple things that I like the Star Wars stuff that came after. I don't really have a lot of Star Wars stuff anyway, but I just put a few things out. And like when I do the 1970s stuff, which is going to be a lot, I'll probably just put one or two leather faces out because I've already done videos with talk about all my Gunnar Hansen leather faces. But yeah, this is yeah. So I did TV shows. I did 1940s and 1940s and 1950s, and that's it I've done so far. So this here is from 1990 to current times. So let's get into this. If you want to subscribe, you want to comment, tell me about your collection below. Tell me what you think of mine. That would be great. Like, subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subs. That would also really help me out. I'm not monetized. I just do this for fun, as I state all the time. But I'd still really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into this. So that's it there. The majority of what I have. So I'll just start in the back. And there's Captain Spaulding, horse from House of a Thousand Corpses, right there. I really like this figure. I just wish his head wasn't turned sideways, but when I bought it, it was the only one they had at the. It was actually at a horror convention. It was the last one they had. And Lemmy, don't think about jumping up here, please. And then after that, I got the Andrew Bernarski Leatherface. I like the figure, and I like the movie. I'm not a big fan of Andrew Bernarski himself. But the figure is good. It's Mego, so it doesn't have all the same details as some of the other higher end figures, but it's also one of the oldest brands that exist, and it's still going strong. It's a really good company. I don't like where I got this figure. It was given to me by someone I don't particularly like, but I'm still going to keep the figure. And after that, we have a ghost face. This was from a collection that came out. This is also Amigo, and it came out where they were just doing multiple colored ones. I probably wouldn't buy this figure now if I was in the store. Number one, I don't have a lot of room for it, and also, I don't know, it's really, I'd rather just have the plain white mask, but I kind of liked it at the time. But there's that. And then next we got Corpse Bride figure. Right there, I haven't watched it. I can't even remember her name. Was she just called Corpse Bride, or did she have an actual name? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've actually watched it. And then Victor over here. Is it Victor or is it Vincent? I can't remember that either. It's been so long. I want to say, yeah, it's Victor. It says right on the bottom. Yeah, Victor. And here, just Corpse Bride. So maybe she was just known as Corpse Bride in the film. But I do like these movies. I bought these a long time ago, and I put them away in a box somewhere and sort of forgot about them. And then when I started collecting, I was just going through the box looking for random things, and it was like, oh, surprise, look what I found. Except unfortunately the packaging's starting to yellow, which does happen from time to time. And there's a little bit of damage from it being in the box there, but it doesn't matter. I'm not selling them. I didn't buy them for value. I just bought them for fun. Then I got some Terminator 2 figures over here. See the T-1000, the T-800, and Sarah Connor. Back there, these are reaction figures, which I told myself a long time ago I wouldn't buy them because they're so overpriced. And now I got like a pretty decent collection of them, so I guess it does happen. And there's a new Nightmare Freddy, which is my second favorite of the Nightmare Elm Street films, my favorite being the first one. And there's Ghostface, this traditional proper white mask. And these are NECA figures. But and then, of course, again, Then I got Sally and Jack over here. These are like NECA, but they're the ones that have these stupid things in the back, these poles. I don't know anyone who's had NECA figures and gotten some that have these dumb poles that you stick in the back and then they just sort of hover. It's hard to see here, but you can see that it's a little bit blurry, but you can see that her feet are hovering off the ground. It's just how they're made, but they're such a nuisance. They don't stay in place and they start off straight, like they're standing up straight like they should be, and then you go a couple days later and they're bent over like this because the stands just aren't strong enough to hold them. Realistically, you'd probably have to glue them into place, and they pop off. They're just tiny little pegs that hold them into place. So that's one of the things about NECA I don't like, and also a lot of the figures are super top heavy, and again they sort of flop over. The detail is amazing. I mean, I do love NECA. Don't get me wrong. I mean, McFarlane, NECA, Diamond Select, all these great companies, Mego, but just nothing's flawless. So, and over here, more Terminator 2 figures. I really like these guys. I've had them for a long time now. The T800 figure is really well detailed with the gun and just there's just so much going on with this figure. And then over here we got Pennywise. That's McFarlane Toonie Terrors, or not Toonie Terrors, sorry, Movie Maniacs figure. Right there. It's very detailed. And the Movie Maniacs, the new generation versions that have been coming out, are actually not that expensive, but they're also very like lightweight. They're hollow. So you got to be careful that you don't drop them because they will probably smash or break in half. And then my Peter Jackson Kong, which is also a Movie Maniacs. It's kind of a cool figure. Then over here, this is a Japanese company. I don't remember, but this is like the Kongverse Kong, or the Monsterverse Kong, which I just got it because it kind of looked cool. But I'm really not into the big Monsterverse thing. I like King Kong, I like Godzilla, and all that, but just how it's just gotten so, in my opinion, blown out of proportion. It went from a simple premise of a giant gorilla, essentially, that was stolen from his home, exploited, and then died, or was killed, depending on how you look at it, and to all this Monsterverse stuff. Like the original Godzilla series was fun, but now it's just, I don't know, but that's just my opinion. I mean, everybody's got their own tastes. I'm not really into that, or the Marvel and DC movies. They've just gotten so deep, but you know, they're not made for me specifically, so I'm not knocking them. I'm just not interested in them that much. And then of course we got Hannibal Lecter. Oh, his bottom strap is undone because he fell over when I was setting it up, so I'll have to fix that. I do like this figure. I think I bought it about almost a year ago. And then over here, got my dodgeball figures. Can't remember the characters' names. Bought these at the dollar store back when my collection was minimal. I probably wouldn't buy them now, but I do like them. They're kind of funny looking. I can't remember the name of the company that makes them, but I know I've seen other figures that they make as well. And then it's got the tumbler from Batman right there. Just a little Hot Wheels version. And then Back to the Future 3. DeLorean, you can tell it's Back to the Future 3 by the wheels and this piece up here on top of the hood, or trunk, I guess it would be technically. And yes, Back to the Future 3 is 90s. It did come out in 1990, whereas the other films did come out in the 80s. And this one lights up. And I have a few other, I do have another Back to the Future 3, but that was just one of the things, like I didn't really need to bring two of them out. So, then my Toy Story guys. Buzz and Woody. Kind of interesting if my toys came to life at night. It'd be a nightmare for anyone who might happen to see them, and then a nightmare for the toys that are locked in the boxes and can't get out. And there's Machete. And my Crow figures, Eric Draven. That's another reaction figure down there. And I believe that's Diamond Select, if I'm not mistaken. And then I got a few more Nightmare Before Christmas figures. Those I got at the dollar store. And an Annabelle over here, which also came from the dollar store. Actually, a lot of these ones on the end did. A couple of these. Anyway. And it's like sort of a little doll version of her. And then the new version of the Millennium Falcon from Force Awakens. Well, I guess the whole Skywalker trilogy. And this came from the dollar store too. But I thought it looked kind of cool for like just some junk from the dollar store. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And then one of the new TIE fighters as well, which also did come from the dollar store. Right there. And then a Proton pack from Ghostbusters. It's the new Ghostbusters, which is a god-awful movie, and I will never watch it again. But the only reason I bought it is because in the pack it just said, I thought it was the original Proton pack because it didn't have any pictures on it besides saying Ghostbusters, and didn't really have any indication that it was the remake. So I grabbed it, and well, I bought it, so it's staying on the shelf. And then over here, Marcellus Wallace, of course, from Pulp Fiction. And speaking of 90s too, I'm also wearing my Steve Buscemi shirt, which he was doing a lot of good movies in the 90s. Still is doing a lot of good stuff, but back in the 90s, that's where he really made a name for himself. And and then my new Godzilla figures. And again, I'm not really big into the new. I like the new actual Godzilla movie that came out. Now there's like so many of them, which I'll probably watch some because I do actually like Godzilla. And I couldn't put them over with the Kongs because they're just going to fight. So I didn't really, that would just be annoying, trying to break them up. But anyway, that's my 90s to current day collection right there. 90s into the 2000s, I guess. So if you watched this all the way, thank you so much. If you want to comment, you want to subscribe, you want to like and do all that interesting stuff, I'd also really like that. I'd appreciate it very, very much. And I'm going to cut this off now, and I get to do the fun task of putting all this stuff back. The video is like going on 13 minutes, and it probably it's going to take me a total of half an hour to put all this stuff here and then take it all back. But anyway, if you watched it all the way, thank you so much, and until the next one, bye.